of the Salt Shaker podcast. Tonight, what we have here is our second guest. He is a god at Tekken. He's not bad at Street Fighter, and he is also my good friend here tonight. Up next.
Welcome to the Super Salt Shaker podcast. Chrono. Get ready for the next podcast.
Alright, now we've got Zarzob here, aka Jamie Joe.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Oh, yeah, pretty good, man. Hope that the podcast, everyone will be tuning in for that. But yeah, tonight's LPL. Yeah, I guess that we've got a big elephant in the room here. Like, so to address, just to start things off, I lost.
Oh yeah,
I
you
lost.
Unfortunately, it was a close game. I was actually watching it. You dropped a major thing, and
I dropped that last combo.
I really wanted to slap you, but you probably already feel bad enough.
I wanted to slap myself, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I had that in the bag, and then like, for some reason, I sort of froze, and I'm like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was flying in the air. You can see him, he was flying, and then you can see me sort of walking forward, and I'm what the hell? Why am I not dashing?
Yeah, that's one thing that every tournament player really has to work on, just their tournament nerves in general, because playing in tournaments, especially if you're not very experienced in doing it, upsets happen, and they happen a lot. And if you're not if you're not on your game, and if you let things that don't normally upset you, then you are gonna lose.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm still working on, but it's really hard to not get upset at, dropped combos or missed reactions or something.
I was kicking myself after that. Like, so I think that for me, I just crumbled. Like,
I could actually hear you getting annoyed or getting salty inside the booth, and they're supposed to be soundproof booths, right? But we could hear both of you guys actually.
Oh well, we were talking about wrestling because I didn't know that he was a wrestling fan.
Yeah, but why are you talking inside the game? Like
no. We were talking before, we were talking, right. And then it was like, oh, cool. Like we've got ourselves a like a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, we started talking, and then they were like, oh, you're up. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, but no, there was some good yarns.
Yeah, good yarns.
Yeah, so anyway, welcome to the podcast. I know that I've been trying to get you for a while.
Yeah.
You've been quite busy, eh?
Yeah, I've been very busy, especially with this tournament. I had plans on the weekend, and I've just been really busy with work as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that this tournament, you have to be there at a certain time, and I try to finish work early, but sometimes I can't, and I get there late, and because there's traffic, I work probably closer than anybody to this venue, and I get there the latest. Both times.
Both times. Yeah, both weeks.
So next week I'm going to leave work at like 4:30 probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's cool. But no, it's good. It's good. How did you feel with your game?
My game against Parasite NZ. I did a lot of work.
You warmed him up for me. That's what happened.
No, I don't think I did. So my he's a Claudio player, right? I know he plays Claudio. He plays like a whole bunch of other characters like Gigas, Jin, Yoshimitsu. He plays a lot of characters. He's kind of like me, where I kind of just play a lot of characters, but not like a single character to a really good level. But
so no main focus on a character.
Well, to be honest, I'm still having a character crisis myself. But we'll
because there's no Julia.
Yeah, that's right.
No Julia.
On sad times. So
I'm not going to play her anyway.
I knew he was like his main is Claudio.
Yes.
And so I practiced with Thomas a lot this week with Claudio, or him playing Claudio, and I was getting bodied so hard, but as you do against Thomas. But it gave me a lot of things to think about in the matchup, and I watched his game last week, and he played Claudio, and then he picked Jin against me. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, sometimes with these tournaments, you have to realize that, because you're one of the favourites to win, they're going to target you.
Yeah, yeah.
They're going to target you, so they're going to be like, okay, well, I think that Zarzob's going to pick this. He's going to basically lab against my main, so I'm going to play this character as a safe choice.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, Claudio probably would have still been a better choice against me because Jin is a really old character, right? So he's been in so many Tekkens for so long, and I actually haven't played a lot of Tekken Tag 2 and a lot of Tekken 7, to be honest. And Claudio is a new character in Tekken 7, so I'm quite unfamiliar with him still, even though he's a pretty basic character.
Yeah.
But I still get caught out by some things which I probably shouldn't. And picking Jin against me was not a good choice because I'm a lot more familiar with Jin as I am Claudio.
As you are, yeah. No, I think that him picking Jin was kind of a bad choice, but somewhat. I mean, if he's comfortable with it, then
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, picking any character, it doesn't really matter what character you pick, right? Yep. It just depends on how well you play on the day.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like I could do pretty much whatever I liked. Like when I was in his face, he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I was just like jabbing, sidestepping, and doing all the stuff. And then I backdashed, and then he still didn't know what to do. So I was like, oh yeah. I kind of adapted pretty quickly as to what I could potentially lose to, because that's generally my playstyle. I don't try to win. I try to not lose. If that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Like I try to block everything that I can block. I try to duck everything I can duck.
Yeah.
Sidestep everything I can sidestep, and just like whiff punish, block punish, like as much as I can.
Yeah, you've got the mentality of like an online gamer. So a lot of Aussie players, what they like to do is they like to throw out a lot of stuff, like I don't know, a lot of unsafe stuff, but you can't block it online, and then so basically for them it's just I'm not trying to win, I'm trying not to lose.
And online,
and I'm trying to ruin your day.
No, I don't play like that. I try to play the most honest and the most like fundamental style as I possibly can, and I think that's good up until a point. But if I were to pick out a weakness of mine, it would be my offense, because like I try to play logically all the time, and when you play logically, you do like dashing in their face and stuff, and that's really unsafe.
Yeah.
I'm not that good at doing that kind of stuff, and pressing buttons when I'm on minus. But yeah, it seems like Parasite, like I could do that anyway. And then he did a lot of hell swoops which I blocked, which was quite surprising actually, because I didn't like I was just like backdashing or something, and maybe trying to duck an electric.
Yeah.
But then in the second game he did a lot of 4-4-2s, and that was good. But then just that part of his game was good pretty much.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a really good player, and I think it would have been a lot closer if he picked Claudio.
Yeah. Okay. So you're actually more scared of Claudio than you are with Jin.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about the tiers, but I think they're very similar in level. Actually, a lot of characters are very similar in level. But yeah, I think Claudio would have been a better pick.
To beat the Mong, you have to be a Mong.
Yeah,
wow.
That's right.
Well, speaking of tournaments there, I mean, obviously this podcast is about you.
Yeah.
And all that. So tell us about, you said that you're a fiend to tournaments?
Oh yeah, I love tournaments, man. I've been to like every tournament I possibly can go to since I don't know how long ago.
Is that your drug, is it?
Not necessarily my drug, but like when you play games competitively, I've been playing games competitively like my whole life pretty much.
Yeah, tell us more about that, eh?
Yeah, so
what did you start off with? How did you play Tekken?
When I first started playing games, was back in the day. I was, I think, 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
I played Quake.
Yeah.
I played that a lot.
You're underage for that game.
Yeah, I was underage. That was like R13 or something. But I wasn't supposed to be allowed to play that game, and that's actually how I came up with my name Zarzob. But anyway, I was playing Quake 1, and we had a 33.6K modem. And then we eventually got a 56K, and I used to play Quake a lot, and I used to play Quake World Team Fortress and Capture the Flag a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying to... on Capture the Flag, you've got this thing called a grappling hook, which essentially... Yeah, it's just a hook which makes you go wherever you shoot it.
Okay.
And I kept trying to do, like, fast captures. And ever since then, I've been fascinated with... like kind of like a speedrun type thing,
right? Okay.
And I used to try go for world records and stuff in Quake 1 and Quake 1, 2, and 3 for Capture the Flag.
Yeah.
I kept trying to go for world records to just beat a time in capturing a flag on a particular level. And yeah, like it was Quake that kind of really put me into a competitive mindset. I used to play 1v1 a lot.
Yeah.
And team deathmatch, like pretty much any competitive mode I could get my hands on, I would play that. And I played Team Fortress competitively. Yeah. And that's my start of gaming.
You've always had this competitive spirit as long as I've known you, really.
Yeah.
And that's over 10 years ago now.
Yeah. We met, was it Tekken 5?
Tekken 5.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was back in Tekken 5. So my start of Tekken was I was in high school and I was just playing with my mates. No, it wasn't even high school actually. It was intermediate.
That was probably Tekken 3, right?
Yeah, I was 11 or 12. I used to go home with my mates after school. We used to go down the road and get some fish and chips from this place called Alligators, and they did the best. There's this thing called an alligator dog.
Oh no!
And it's like a big hot dog, a big American hot dog with like 2 frankfurters. And like all this other stuff like bacon, cheese, mustard and stuff.
Are they still there?
God. Nah, they're not there anymore.
Oh, that stinks.
It was so good. Anyway, so I went back home after school, got some alligators, and I played with my mates in Tekken 3, and I'd get like 100. We'd play like 100 games at least every day, and yeah, I'd just like waste my mates all the time, and I thought I was real good.
Yeah.
And what I used to do is, like, I loved the game so much, and I used to learn basically every character, including Dr. B and including Gon.
Gon.
And I would play. I'd go in practice mode and look at the command list for every single character.
And you'd actually would you be one of those kids that would know how to juggle, or would you be one of those 10 hit strings?
No, I knew somewhat some juggles, but I mean in Tekken 3 there wasn't that many juggles, right? So I did know some juggles, but maybe not every character. But I did learn the 10 hits for every single character in Tekken 3.
Oh, nice.
And I think that's actually helped me a lot in over the years when random people think that, oh hey, he might not know the 10 hits, so let's just catch him out with this, and I'd parry the first low in the string or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, so thank you, 12-year-old me. But yeah, I would learn every move for every character in the game, and I just loved the game so much. And then because I thought I was the shit, I was like, I went to the arcade, right?
Yeah.
And that was the first.
Was this at Yifans?
Yeah, this is at Yifans.
Oh, Yifans. Oh man,
this is the very first time I played Tekken Tag 1.
Yeah.
And so I went there, and
how old were you then?
I think I was 13.
Oh, okay.
So I went there. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna waste this guy, right? And I can't remember who I picked, but the very first
this was
guy.
Tekken Tag 1, right?
Yeah, Tekken Tag 1.
Okay.
The very first guy that I played against played Julia and Jin, and I got fucked so hard. Like this guy. Do you know the Julia Wonder combo?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a really long combo with Julia. And I just got fucked so hard by that one combo. Like, he would launch me and just do that. And I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And that's how I started playing Julia.
Oh, so you basically got bodied by Julia. That's why you picked Julia.
Yeah, that's how I started playing Julia.
Wow, that's like pretty much exactly the same reason why I picked Lars in Tekken 6.
Lars? Oh man,
I got bodied by Lars so hard that, like, I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to pick Lars. I'm going to get good with him, and I'm going to waste everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same goes with Jack. Like, I lost to, Milky? And
Yeah.
then I was like, you know what? Let's pick Jack.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun with Jack.
That's what you do. Like, when you lose to a character, you either go into the lab and have a look at, the most used moves to see what you lost to, or you just pick up the character.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you figure out, you might be weak to this or might be weak to that. But
Yeah.
so I picked up Julia, and my passion for the game was just like off the charts. Like, I would, if I wasn't playing Tekken, I was reading about Tekken or watching Tekken
So
or
it turned
something,
into
right?
some kind of obsessive
Yeah,
sort of...
yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I didn't know that you couldn't do that combo in Tekken 3.
Yeah.
So I went back home and tried to do that combo, and I just couldn't. And I was like, what the hell? How can you do like 3 elbows in a combo? And you just can't, because Julia's elbow in Tekken 3 recovers really, really long.
So it's you sort of tend to know that it's a different game. Things are different.
Yeah,
They've
well,
changed.
I didn't know at the time, but yeah, I tried for so long, and I figured out eventually that it actually isn't possible.
Mm-hmm.
And she had that string down forward 4-2, back forward 1. I can't remember what it's called, but I kept trying to do that in Tekken 3, and she just didn't have that move. And I was like,
am I doing it right?
yeah, and I was looking at the command list like, where is it? Where is this move? And then, so...
You have to realise it's a later game.
Yeah,
Obviously
well, I didn't know, man. I was like young and stupid, and I didn't know. But
You're still stupid.
yeah, that's right. That's how I started playing Julia. And
Oh, okay. No shit.
it's not because she's waifu or she's hot or anything. Just because I got bodied with her the very first time I went to the arcade.
Well, that's fair enough. Fair call.
Yeah.
Fair call. But I guess that's probably the reason. Like, with me starting off at Tekken, I think that I started getting better at Tekken 5. Like, I used to play Tekken 3 a lot,
Yeah.
but when I started going to the arcade, you're like, why is this game so fast?
Tekken 3 or Tekken Tag?
Tekken
Yeah.
Tag 1, like, it was so slow on console, and then all of a sudden you go to the arcade and you're like, the graphics are so shit, but it's so fast.
Yeah, because that's the NTSC version. Right?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. And some idiot in Namco probably didn't just forgot. He's like, oh man, I forgot to put the 60 hertz settings on there.
yeah.
Yeah. It was, and it was like what, the first game to ever release on PS2.
Was
It was a launch title. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was number 1. So there's a product code.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like something S something H, and it's like 0001.
Really? So it was the very, very first game.
First game that
That's
was
so
actually
cool.
on PS2.
Yeah. So I didn't get Tekken Tag 1 on console, so I just went to the arcades and played a lot. And that's actually, I mean, I used to play a lot and kind of keep to myself. I went to, that arcade that was downtown. I think it was Time Out. They had the big screen. They had like a 40-inch screen for Tekken Tag 1.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was in town with my mates, and we all went there, and I started playing.
Yeah.
And
Was this when the stiff sticks were still around,
I can't remember.
or was it back to the Sanwa JLFs?
No, it's not. It wasn't a Sanwa, but it wasn't like the stiff ones. I can't remember what they were, but actually, yeah, I can't even remember which sticks it was.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a 40-inch Tekken Tag 1 setup, and it was like a huge thing with a seat, and it was
It's
awesome.
like those rear projectors, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I played that, and I was there with maybe like 5 or 6 mates, and I got a 10 streak in the arcade,
Okay.
and my mates were like, "Come on, hurry up, we need to go." And I was actually getting really tired, and I was like, "But I want to keep winning. This is so fun." And eventually, I lost, and the guy next to me that just beat me had like the biggest shit-eating grin. He was like so fucking happy that he won. It was so funny. But like, yeah, man, back in the day, Tekken Tag 1 at the arcades was so fun.
Arcade days were fun, but now they're like kind of over,
Yeah.
which is a sad part.
Yeah, like later on in Tekken Tag 1, that's actually when I started, or I guess you could say met, but didn't really meet Thomas.
Mm.
So
he was Jellyfang back then.
He was Jellyfang. No, this was before Tekken 5.
Oh, okay. So he was back in this was like Tekken Tag 1 days.
Yeah, Tekken Tag 1
days.
days.
This is when those machines. There was like 3 machines, and then it was like
there were like 4, I think.
Yeah.
And there were head-to-head machines as well. And I think that was before Tekken 4 came out, or maybe at the same time. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I played. Like, we used to go to the arcade and just not talk to each other at all. We were just like, we'd like nod heads or something.
It was a different time back then.
We'd be like, yo, like, not even say hi or anything. We'd just see each other and then just start playing. And we just played for so long. And it was also Nightchild. You remember that guy?
Guy that stands.
The white guy that stands and wears a suit.
Yeah,
suit
all the time. Yeah.
He plays.
Was he playing like tag back then?
Yeah, he played tag 1.
Okay.
So it was.
I
us
wasn't
3.
in the scene back then. You see.
Yeah, so it was us 3, and we used to play each other just all the time, and we were like pretty much the only people that used to play each other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I used to play Thomas a lot, and I didn't know his name for a really long time. Like Tekken 4 came out, and I really didn't like it. I played Law like a couple games, and yeah, I just really, really didn't like that game. So I just went back to playing against Thomas and Nightchild in Tekken Tag 1.
Yeah.
And then
Tekken 4 was a very, very unique game. I say that the only game that's really different, like the only Tekken game that's completely different. I wouldn't even really call it a Tekken game, really.
Tekken 4?
Yeah.
Well, they were experimenting with walls and what is it? Uneven ground or floors.
Oh, that was broken.
Well, no, I don't think it was necessarily broken, but they didn't think about what could be possible with this kind of setup.
Mm-hmm.
Because like there wasn't really online patching or version 2s of the game or anything, so you couldn't really just release something, figure out that something's broken, and then patch it. So back in those days, like if something was broken on release, that was just it.
Mm-hmm.
But now, these days, if something's really broken, it'll get patched pretty quickly, which actually I don't like. But anyway, yeah, Tekken 4, I didn't actually know any of the the infinites and stuff like that. Like Lee had an infinite on one of the stages.
On the arena stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last stage.
Yeah, there was so much broken shit in that game, and I didn't actually know because I didn't play it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just played Tekken Tag 1 a lot. And then Tekken 5.0 came out at the arcades, and that was so fun. Like Tekken 5.0 is my favorite Tekken, I would say. So everything is broken. Everything. Not just like Fing, Brian, Steve, Heihachi. Like,
Nina,
yeah. Not even those characters. Like, just everyone had some broken shit. Except Julia, except Lei, and I think maybe one other character. Because everyone had tech traps, everyone had some kind of broken shit to them, and that made the game, for me, really, really fun.
Yeah.
But I still played Julia, and Julia was like fucking trash in that game.
Yeah.
But all of us were trash at the game. Like, we all sucked.
Oh, nobody knew how to sidestep or anything,
Yeah.
or sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a mess, really.
Yeah. So that's where I met D-Sam, because I think me and him were the 2 most competitive players back in the 5.0 days.
And Vince.
No, this is in 5.0, not... I actually can't remember Vince back in those days, because I guess I don't remember that much. But that's where I met D-Sam, and like we used to play a lot. He used to play Nina, and I'd play Julia, and Nina's downforward 1-2 was like +3 on block or something. It was fucking ridiculous, and he would just spam that on everyone he played against, and because no one knows how to sidestep like effectively, like he'll just win just with that, and fair enough because it's broken. But I found one counter to it, which is like sidestep and then 1-2-1 with Julia, and so that was an 8-frame counter hit launcher. And I'll just do that after blocking that every single time, and I'll like almost beat him every single time.
Yeah, for sure.
And then he started to finally come up with counters to it, and I think me and him in Auckland.
You guys always tend to one up each other.
Yeah, so me and him, I think in Auckland really like made Auckland kind of step up in terms of how we play the game, because our whole game was so linear.
Yeah.
Like the whole of Auckland was so linear. We didn't backdash cancel. We didn't sidestep. Like nothing. And so because
it was just about throwing out like, you know, just a launch.
Yeah.
And just you know, and hope it lands.
Yeah.
Just a Hail Mary, really.
Yeah, that's how it was before. And then because me and him used to just really, really, really want to beat each other.
Yeah.
Like we were still mates, but like we really wanted to beat each other, so we had to figure out, you know, what to do in certain situations. And I think because of that, the whole scene leveled up a lot. I started backdash cancelling, and then soon after, like Thomas was, D-Sam was, like a whole bunch of people.
I kind of wish that I had that kind of mentality that you guys had. Back then, for me, it was really about, oh man, like I want to beat this guy, I want to get the higher rank, and things like that. It's just, that's just how it is, really.
Man, you were such a card chicken back in those days.
Oh yeah, man. I like right now, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, neither do
it's just
I.
like, it's like, dude, let's just play. I just want to play and get better, and I want to beat your ass.
Yeah. Playing with cards was a good and bad thing. Back then, man, cards were just stupid. You had 500 plays on a card. You could only play one character. And after 500 plays, you had to renew the card.
You had to buy it with another $5, I guess.
They cost like $6 or $7 or something.
Yeah.
And I had 15 cards. Or more.
That's right. Yeah, no, back in Tekken 6 days, like we were sort of building up those cards.
Yeah. So in Tekken 5, I had like 15 character cards, and I think like 2 or 3 of them were lore. Because I would start a card and then I'd forget it or lose it or something, and then I'd just start another one.
You always end up losing it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And there's no way to recover it.
And the thing is, you don't know what the rank of that character is until you put the card in. So because you've got, like, say, 30 seconds of character select, I've got 15 cards to try find a
That's why you
rank.
didn't label them.
Yeah, but what about the rank?
Yeah, true.
You don't remember the rank of 15 characters. So I'd put in a card, nope. Put in the card, nope. Put in the card, nope. And then
it selects.
And then I'd lose. Then I'd run out of time. I'd be like, oh god damn it. But yeah, it was really fun. Me and D-Sam used to play basically every character back then, and I think Thomas and BG. I can't remember.
They came a bit later.
Yeah,
BG came a bit later.
I can't remember if BG was playing Tekken 5 or Tekken DR.
He was playing DR mostly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He didn't talk to anyone though.
No, he didn't. We used to call him chessboard hat guy.
Yeah, because he always wears like a checkered hat.
Yeah, and then his card name was Yuhi, I think.
Yeah.
At the time. But yeah, I think Thomas wasn't like really good back then. He played a lot, but he didn't unleash his Korean side yet. But he was just slowly improving, and then
he was a bit smut back then.
Well, I don't know.
He's a bit smut now.
I don't think it was that. He was just shy, I think. And so was I.
No, you were a smut back then, man. Come on,
Was I?
Tell us about that time when you went to Sydney and you were at Game Paradise or something. Was it Game Paradise? And like, you know, someone actually called you out in the forums. Remember Tekken Zaibatsu?
What was that? I don't remember that.
You went to Sydney and then like you got like this really big rank. You know, from them. Yeah, and you were playing Julia, and they were like, "Oh, who's that smut guy that plays Julia?"
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, that happened. It was a thing.
That sounds like something that I should remember, though. No, yeah, I mean, back in the days, like when we were all real young, we always used to talk a lot of shit online. I don't do so much now, but
I just think that, yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of people used to talk shit, and I used to talk shit. I used to be on Tekken Zaibatsu a lot, and my post count was pretty high. I used to make combo videos in Tekken 6 and
you did in Tekken 5 as well, right?
Nah, I didn't make any combo videos in Tekken 5. T4 Jin did.
Oh yeah.
But actually I can't remember if I did.
He's kind of semi-retired, that guy.
Yeah.
You can see him sometimes on PC, but that's about it, really.
Yeah. Yeah, so DR was really like me, Vince, D-Sam and Casey.
Mm-hmm. Casey, I remember that guy.
In Auckland, I think we were trying to beat each other a lot, and I think D-Sam was unofficially the best in or Auckland at the time with Heihachi. I think,
Heihachi?
Yeah, I think Vince managed to beat him in a tournament and like one of our nationals, but outside of tournaments, D-Sam would beat everyone pretty much, and he was like the king, the one to beat at the time.
And then WoW got him.
Yeah, and then WoW got him. That was sad.
WoW got him trapped.
But also
he never
Tekken 6,
returned.
he didn't really like Tekken 6 that much.
Did he say he liked Tekken 7? Seems like everybody's digging Tekken 7.
Tekken 7's a great game. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good balance between the old days and the new days, except for Claudio and Ling and Yoshi. Anyway, aside from that, so in DR, like I was entering tournaments then as well. Like there wasn't that many though, because it was only arcade really, and I think Time Zone hosted a nationals. And Vince won that for Auckland, and then he went to play, I can't remember where, but I think Glenn took that one, the nationals then.
I remember that.
Oh wait, no, that was
it was Michael.
Mike, yeah.
Yeah, Mike
on
tilt. Yeah.
So I think he took that. Everyone was like praising him as like the
he
god.
he was insane, man.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you something about that dude. Like, that dude went over to Australia, and he raked up, like in Tekken Tag 1, he raked up a 100 plus win.
Really?
Yes.
Man.
And that was against Aussies as well. And, do you remember Tony T?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, one of the best guys.
Yeah, he was.
In Tekken Tag 1.
He made a sick combo video with Feng as well.
Yeah, and basically, and what Mr. On-Tilt would come in with is like a whole ring binder. That whole ring binder, was just frame data of every single character, and that scared the living shit out of Tony T.
Frame data in like back in the days where there was no smartphones, you just had to remember it. But this guy took a fucking ring binder of frame data. Like, that's dedication, man. I never had notes like that. I know a lot of people write notes for particular characters or particular matchups or particular people.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I don't do any of that. I know I need to, though, because there's just so many people that you can play against and so many characters that you can play against. And now I play Street Fighter as well, so I need to remember 2 different games, a whole bunch of different matchups, a whole bunch of different players that could potentially beat me in a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, I'm still learning, so it's really hard to keep it up. Keep up your knowledge.
I think for me is I can't really do that because I am actually I enjoy sort of saying that I play Xiao Yu, and I just like to show up for tournaments and just play my game.
Yeah,
that's all it is. That's just how I want to do things. Like, I don't really like spending time labbing and things. I just want to get right into it. Yeah, and that's the reason why I feel that there's a lot of people that could would actually would excel from me. So there'll be people that I used to body, but now they'll come back and they'll body me.
Yeah.
And everything. It's just that I just got other commitments and things like that.
Yeah. Tony T is an Australian guy. I'm not sure. I don't think he plays anymore, but he's from Australia.
No, everyone's old now.
Toothy was someone else from Wellington. So, like, I've always had the competitive mindset where if I lose, like, I don't necessarily get salty or anything, but I really try to analyze and see where I went wrong. And I've always been like that. And, like, it might not be intentional, but it's just because I really love Tekken a lot.
Yeah.
And, everybody likes winning. So naturally, it's not like, oh, man, I just really want to win. It's like, oh, man, I love Tekken.
I used to get angry quite a lot and everything.
Man, you got angry tonight.
I basically, no, I wasn't angry. I was just disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
Really, like, it was just like, oh, man, I could have done so much better.
Yeah.
But, it's let bygones be bygones.
Yeah.
But, next question there. So, with Tekken, who is actually currently your biggest nemesis?
My biggest nemesis is Thomas. 100% Thomas.
100%?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, he's my next match in LPL. We used to be really even back in, like, I think No, I used to beat him up until I think late Tekken 6. And then he just, I don't know what happened, but he just became a god. And ever since I've had a lot of trouble playing against him.
I think it's ever since that time he went back to Korea.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, they probably injected him with some kind of serum.
Yeah, so...
Some kind of Korean serum.
So around the time of Tekken 6 Vanilla, like, New Zealand was free, man. Like, I could play against anyone and just beat them easily. I went to Nationals because I won the Auckland Regionals, and Nationals was free. Like, I bet Toothy and I think some other people. Can't remember who it was, but it was just really easy. But I'm not sure whether that was because I was playing Bob and he was cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
he was really good back then.
He was cheap as
his down forward too.
Yeah, it launches on normal hit, man, and it high crushes, and it's safe. So good.
You can just, like, all I could do. I remembered when Tekken 6 first came out. I was so poor back then.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I just want to play. I just want to get money out and just keep firing them into the machine.
Yeah.
The thing is that because it's $2 per game, it's like, dude, I can't spend that much on a game.
Man, you don't want to know how much I spent on the game. So when Tekken 6 came out, I was basically at the arcade
all day, every day.
All day, every day.
All day, every day.
Yeah. So I didn't go to uni. Well, I was at uni.
You didn't have a girlfriend at the time, which is good.
I didn't go.
It was
to
convenient.
Uni. Convenient, yeah.
You didn't have a girlfriend, of course. You know,
I had something to drain my money. Anyway.
Oh, come on, man. She'll probably hear this. She'll probably tune in. She'll be like, "What is this now?"
Yeah, and so I for the first, say, month of Tekken 6, man, it was crazy. I must have spent, like, I think $1,000 in the first week.
$1,000?
Yeah, $1,000 in the first week.
You use that for double dollars.
No, this was Yi funds, man.
Yi funds?
This was Yi funds.
$1,000, jeez. Was that your student loan money?
No, I used to work, but and I used to, like, almost never spend money.
Yeah.
So then when
oh yeah, you were a bit of a Jew back then.
Yeah, and the only thing I'd ever do or spend money on was, like, a creamy mayo cheeseburger from Burger King and play Tekken. And that's about it.
Yeah, like, just back to the topic there. Every time when I come down to you funds, you know, and I would actually hear, like, you know, Bob just go, yup. It's like, oh my god, okay, Jamie's here.
Yeah. So when Tekken 6 came out, I was the first person to reach yellow ranks in Auckland. And then because, like, I was, like, I guess you could say a bully. Like, I got to yellow before anybody else got to green.
Right.
No, sorry. I think Brawler was the first green rank. And then there's, like, 2 or 3 ranks up to Warrior at the time.
I think it was Brawler, if I remember correctly, Brawler, Marauder, Berserker, and then Warrior.
Yeah, so I got Warrior promo from a Brawler. So I was Berserker at the time. Oh no, wait, no, I got it from a Grandmaster.
Okay.
So I was trying so hard to get this rank up, right? But there was nobody close to my rank, and because,
so that's why you started another card.
Yeah, because of the Tekken 6 rank system, like, it was really hard to get points off anyone that's far away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started another card, and I started Lily after I got to Warrior with Bob, and then I got to yellow ranks before anyone else did again, and it's just because I played so much that I was just there all the time.
Well, I think that the person that was really, like, you know, behind you, like, or on your tail, was Rambo at the time.
Rambo? Oh, yeah. I couldn't really remember much about Rambo back in the day, other than he played Feng and he loved Feng Wei's muscles.
Yeah, well, speaking of Feng Wei muscles, we got Data Link on the in the chat there. He was the one that sort of, you know, that sort of started the whole Feng Wei muscles conversation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, for sure. So, not only that, you know, in the fighting game community, not only that you played Tekken was being, you know, the game that you started, but you also started, when did you start playing Street Fighter full time?
Street Fighter full time. It's like a job, eh?
Yeah, full time.
Yeah, I probably did play more than 40 hours a week. I started playing Street Fighter around the time that I think it was when Street Fighter 5 was announced. Like I was always a Street Fighter 4 casual player, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd know basic stuff with a lot of characters, but I never really learnt much about the game. And so that was at Time Zone at the time, so I'd just play Street Fighter then just for fun. And I'd play with BG and some other random people.
Well, you're playing with Chris as well in Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, and so I think that kind of started me and Chris. That kind of started like our love for Street Fighter because
hardly anyone came to the tournaments though for Street Fighter. They're all like doing Rambats and stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Like Tekken has always been an arcade game up until now, and now Street Fighter has been a console game, a home game for so long. Even
for a while now.
Yeah, even during like Tekken 6, it was like a home console game, right? And so, so me and Chris, we played Street Fighter a lot, and I think Jambo was there as well. I think Jambo played at the arcade. I can't actually remember. But me, Chris, and Jambo, we all kind of started playing competitively in Street Fighter at around the same time.
Yeah.
And we used to play at my house like a lot.
Yeah. That's how you guys introduced the silent buttons.
No. That was actually
recent.
Yeah, I think that was in Street Fighter 5 actually.
Oh, okay.
But Jambo was definitely a pioneer of the listen to the button and do something. That tech, and so actually something that I did was I played Rose, right, and in Street Fighter you can buffer moves, so you do like a crouch mid punch into like a spiral arrow, or it's not a spiral arrow, soul spiral, and it's like a dash thing, and it's a combo on hit, but on block it's safe, but there's a gap in between the two hits, so what you can do is you can do like a dragon punch or a super or something.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, this guy is listening to buttons, isn't he? And so I did crouch mid punch. I did the quarter circle, and I pressed like I can't remember what I pressed, but it was like something that didn't happen.
So it was like a button that was not binded to anything.
Yeah, and it wasn't bound to anything. And so I pressed that really loud. And Jambo did a super.
Yeah.
And I was like...
And you're like, oh, you snake.
Yeah, this guy, man.
You snake.
Fucking hell.
Okay.
It was then that, like, the whole, like, we have to unbind a button and, like, press buttons just randomly. We'd do, like, quarter circle forward and then press the unbound button for a fireball.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they'll jump. It's like, oh, man. And, like, I would do it too. Like, it's not intentional, but you know, you just hear it on the side of your... next to you.
There's actually one
like,
guy
oh,
in Tekken that's actually he's not in the competitive scene. He's you know how like in Tekken there's actually a couple of groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know you'll have us, but then I sort of branch off to other groups for Tekken. There's a group in North Shore. There's a group in there's Thomas's group, the Koreans.
Yeah. And
then there's another group which is Data Link, Virtual Bacon, Milky, and all of those guys. And and then there's this one guy in that group that listens to buttons. And and Data Link actually came up to me, and he's like, man, like this stick, man, there's like no sound. It's like, is Steve actually pressing any buttons? It's like, and I think that he was like sort of using using my controller. And then he was like trying to like press buttons, but he was also like doing a drum beat to like Sandstorm.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like it's like, oh my god, man.
Yeah.
You funny guy.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? Like, did you just see like these foam that's like, oh, silent your buttons?
No. That was actually in Street Fighter 5. It was long after that thing actually happened. But we were trying to strategize it and just press random buttons, and I think we still do it sometimes. But yeah, I mean, Street Fighter 4, so me, Chris, and Jambo were doing that. And we played like a lot, like at least a couple times a week would be at my place, just playing all day or all night. And
wish you'd do that with Tekken, man.
Oh, I don't know, man. It's hard to do it so much now, but yeah. So that's when I started entering Standing Fierce tournaments, because they didn't generally have Tekken there.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't really a home game, because everybody used to just go to the arcade and play.
That's what I didn't really like anymore. It sort of split up the whole community.
Yeah.
Now it's sort of bringing people in, but
it's bringing people together. It's
more.
Great.
Yeah. I think that at the end of the day, more people just need to show up for Rambats, or more people need to host for maybe home sessions where there's going to be 5 setups. And
yeah, but it's really hard, especially this place would probably be pretty good for that, but even then...
Oh, you mean my place?
Yeah.
We've actually had a few.
Yeah, you have. It would be good.
It's so hot,
Rambo's place, or no, not Rambo's place, Chicago, Ping, yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's still kind of hard to get to.
Yeah,
for people that don't have cars.
Also, there's a bit of a trust issue. Sometimes, let's say if your friend invites a friend that plays Tekken, you're like, okay, I don't know who the hell this is.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, man, I don't want you taking off with my controllers or something like that.
Man, about that. So I had a Tekken session, right?
Yeah.
And I can't remember why I did it. I can't remember if it was because someone was here from overseas or what, but I had a Tekken session at my place, and I can't remember who it was, but someone invited Seville.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Seville at the time. I'd never seen him, never played him or anything.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this in a bad way, but he was such a dick.
He is really, really cocky when you first meet him.
Yeah, I had the worst impression of him. He would come over and be like, "Yo, Jamie, what's the Wi-Fi password?" That's almost the first thing he asked me. It's what the hell? Who is this guy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And he would, he was really cocky as well.
Yeah.
And
he's like, oh no, I can beat him. Yeah, I can beat that guy. Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, I can beat him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, man, this guy's a dick. And he was talking a lot of shit. And I just realized...
That's just who he is?
Yeah, that's just who he is. And he was young and stupid like I was.
You talked a lot of shit when you were when I first met you.
Did I?
I remembered how we met was I recovered from my, from my broken leg.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out with my friend, Sonny.
Yep.
Do you remember Sonny?
Nope.
The Indian law player?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he taught me how to play Xiao Yu. Because he knew how to play everyone. So all the basic combos and stuff he'll know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was the one that taught me how to up forward 3-4. That's my panic button.
No, that was not your panic button. That's the move that you do at the start of the round every single time.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah. So that's sort of, I kind of evolved from that, but that was sort of the main bread and butter for me is up forward 3+4 shooting stuff. So what I did was I went into town with him. This is when I wasn't working because I just recovered from the broken leg. And so he just told me, he goes, oh no, just come to the just come to the arcade with me. So because we took the same bus, he'll be like, yeah, I'm on the bus now, and I'll be like, yeah, cool, jump on. So I'll see him, and then we'll sit together, and then he tells me about the ranks, how it works, and things like that. Because back then when rankings were introduced, you're like, what is first Caillou and things like that. So for me I was fifth Caillou at one point, and that's when he started telling me about the Dans and the and all those others. Yeah, and when we got there, I remembered that there was now Zenki who was playing, but he was playing a thing with that's called Kung Fu Nutsacks.
Was that his name? That
was his name, Kung Fu Nutsacks.
I'm surprised Namco let that happen.
Yeah, so Kung Fu Nutsacks. And then basically you were playing bears when I saw him. I'm like, whoa, this guy's playing bears. That's so weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you started playing Xiao Yu, and I'm like, damn, this guy's good. And then I went up to you and I was like, hey bro, can you teach me how to Xiao Yu? And then you're like, nah, I don't know how to play.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, what a dick, this guy.
Well, I probably didn't know how to play Xiaoyu at the time.
Oh no, you knew,
Did
like,
I?
there was like moves that
Man, what a
I'm like, whoa, this is awesome.
Man,
Xiao Yu is cool.
I was such a dick.
And then I guess that's when I sort of knew who you were.
Yeah.
And then I started showing up to like random tournaments. I wasn't really good. Like I was sort of like introduced to the scene.
Yeah.
And that's when I sort of was introduced to Tekken Zaibatsu. That's when I signed up, and I'm like, hey everyone.
Yeah, everyone used to talk on Tekken Zaibatsu, but nobody really used to talk at the arcade itself, because everyone was like shy and young and kind of awkward.
They also talked a lot of shit, they did. Amongst each other.
Yeah.
And then when they went to town, they're just like, oh.
Yeah. It's because everybody back then were keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
Everyone talked a lot of shit, but didn't back it up in game or like.
We called it Shortland Street at one point.
Did we?
Yeah. Like, oh my goodness, it's like it's Shortland Street all over again.
Yeah.
Because all I remembered was there was beef between, like, back then, man, I reckon that this would make great kayfabe. Like, just like in wrestling, how you have a persona.
Yeah,
there's a storyline and things like who betrayed who and things.
Yeah.
So, like, I know that there was beef between Kepler and Lee J.
Really?
Yeah.
Lee J was like the happiest guy you could ever meet.
He was also a card chicken.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
So Kepler wasn't happy with that.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was Zenki and Big B. That was the biggest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big B, man, that guy.
And then there was D-Sam and Vince.
Yeah, D-Sam and Vince used to play a lot, and they were like hardcore rivals. I don't know if I had a rival as such. Maybe Dion. That guy, like, we used to play a lot, and he used to just at Yifans he would have like $20 in coins.
Didn't you call him a scrub?
I don't remember doing that, but I probably did.
I'm pretty sure you're like, oh my god, man!
I don't think I did, because he was like a real scary dude.
Oh, okay.
And he was always really angry when he plays. Even if he wins, he was like he always seemed like he was
bullshit,
real angry.
bullshit.
Yeah, and like he'd want to like punch someone or like get into a fight with someone. So I was like real timid.
Yeah.
Around him. Yeah, but he would put down like $20 in coins, and he'd just continue playing me. He wouldn't let anybody jump on until he beats me, and I think he was like that with anyone actually. He'd just he'd not let anybody jump on until he wins against someone.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, but like, he was, it was scary playing against him, but his playstyle was so annoying to play against, because he'd run into your face and either do a Dragon Tail or an up forward 4. And back then, reactions were not a thing. Like, we couldn't block Dragon Tail on reaction.
I remember being good friends with this other guy named Luke, who also played.
That's the Drummania guy.
Yeah, who also played Law.
Yeah.
And that dude was fucking annoying.
Was
he was a watered down version of Dion.
Yeah.
But like, you just lose to his stuff. It's just like, okay, well, cool. Like, he'll be the ones that would, like, obviously what Dan Banter would say now, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, he'll just run up to you, and then he'll just, like, you think that he might do a Dragon Tail, but then he'll do double somersault.
Yeah, that's like, what Dion used to do as well. It's so funny. Like, he'll do the single somersault. he'll do it like 5 times, and you'll be like, oh, the double one's coming now.
Yeah.
He won't do it, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna just punish the single somersault, and you get hit by a fucking double somersault. Fucks you off so much, man. Like, that was like so cheap back in the day.
That was cancer.
That was so cheap, but like, looking back at it, man, we were fucking scrubs.
We were terrible at the game.
Yeah.
Just throwing out Hail Marys. That's all I could. That's all I remember.
Yeah, but like, I used to, like, even back then, I used to still try to play extremely safe. Like, Julia's hop kicks, it was up forward 4-3, and you could confirm the 4.
Yeah.
Like, it was really hard to do it, but you could confirm the 4, because the up forward 4-3 was minus 15. You could launch it.
Yeah.
She had up forward 4-3-1, which you could jab, interrupt, or sidestep.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't want myself to get punished at all, so I kept trying to actually confirm the first hop kick into the second hit, And like since then, I've just been trying to play like a really, really honest and like no gimmick style. And I've always played like that. So that's how I play in Street Fighter. That's how I play in Tekken. Everything.
Yeah. Well, there's that. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, there's just so many games that we played ever since we knew each other. Like, do you remember us playing Para Paradise back then?
Oh man, fuck, that was so cool. I love
Para Paradise. We were like, we enjoyed that game. It was so campy,
mate.
But
I learned so many dances for Para Paradise. I learned like the most homo ones ever.
It's
I
so
learned,
girly, man.
There was the song called Deluxe and a song called Anniversary, and both of those were so gay. And like I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but like I danced to that at Yifans in front of a crowd, and I just had the biggest grin on my face. I knew it was like so. It's like,
so campy.
Yeah,
that's honestly that game is really like feminine in a way, like.
But that game was just, it was so cool because like
it was fun.
It was
different. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like you sit down and you press buttons. Like it was sensors, man. That was revolutionary at the time.
Yeah. Another dancing game that you got into, like, you kind of dropped Tekken in a way, was ITG.
Well, no, I used to play DDR a long time ago as well. I've been playing DDR for a long time. So when I played ITG, it was kind of like, what ITG is, it's essentially DDR with a theme or a skin. And yeah, so ITG is just that, really. So there's this thing called Stepmania, which is basically like a free version of DDR for PC. And what ITG did was they just put a theme on top of Stepmania.
Yeah.
And released it as a game. And
they got sued for it, didn't they?
Yeah, they got sued by Konami because it was obviously way too similar as a game.
It was it was definitely good because what I've actually found about ITG is that the step charts are a lot easier to read.
Sorry?
That's the first thing. The step charts are a lot easier to read.
On what, ITG?
On ITG. Like, just the arrows?
No, you mean because of the theme?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the problem with DDR was there's background video.
Also flashing lights, man.
Yeah, so the background video was really bright, and the arrows, you couldn't change the arrows to become a color that was like very distinguishable from the background video.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you play,
you get distracted.
Yeah, you get distracted because like the arrows are like kind of camouflaged in between the with the background.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see, especially when you're watching, like when you're playing like a hard song or a fast song. So yeah, so what ITG did was give you the ability to disable the background or change the notes to a different color.
Yeah.
But even then, like the default note color was actually a lot easier to distinguish from the background.
Exactly.
So it was good.
Yeah, you were quite good at that game.
Oh yeah, I loved that game as well. I played so much.
Yeah, you and my flatmate just went hard, man.
Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good times.
Yeah,
you could
he loves those pendulum songs.
Pendulum songs, is it?
Yeah.
Were they those like 13s or something?
Oh yeah, maybe like 12, 13s.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, they're just like long songs, really.
He has the stamina for them.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, I think he was your DSAM for ITG. Like, you beat him, he'll beat you.
Who was my rival for ITG? I don't know. I think it was Icy, but that was like later on. I don't think I really had a rival because I didn't really try to get good scores or anything. Like, when I was playing ITG, I just tried to pass the song, and that's all I really tried to do. But when I can't remember what happened, but eventually I just really started trying to get good scores. Oh, Ricky, you remember Ricky?
Yes.
Tubby. Yeah, Tubby. Or Chubby, as I used to think it was, because you could only have 4 letters in the characters in the what is it, the score screen.
Yeah.
So I always used to think it was Chubby, and yeah, so he was like really, really good. He would get tri-stars like every song he plays, and I'll be like, man, that's such a good score. And then
he was crazy at the game.
He
man.
was
He
really fucking good.
He was like, like next level.
Yeah, he was definitely like next level, and so he like inspired me to get really good at the game. And so I played, and eventually I got a star in one of the songs, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!"
I remember this very, very clearly. This is when you weren't as good on ITG, but I was hanging out with Golden Hedgehog, Jeremy, at the time, and I remember bumping into you at in Ye Funds, and you're like, "Hey, what are you doing, man?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna go Time Zone." And you're like, yeah, cool, let's go.
Yeah.
And then you just tag along, and then I sat down. I think that I came from a party or something.
Yeah.
And then you and Jeremy just went into the ITG machine and started playing. And then all of a sudden, like when you finish your session, you're sitting on the chair.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh man, I don't feel so good. And I'm like,
this is right after I had Wendy's.
Yes.
I went to Wendy's, and then we came down. We played ITG. Holy shit! I felt so terrible. Why the fuck did I play? I played a dancing game right after eating a meal.
You were playing Can't Stop.
Oh, was I?
Yeah, and then basically it was that crossover game.
Yeah.
And I think that back then you did a lot of moving because now you just sort of do the heel toe, which is a lot easier. But back then you used to like move your whole body and things like that. And then so I saw this guy. He was sitting on the ground, on the chair, and then he just did not look. He was pale. You were pale. And then so I was like, dude, are you all right? And then you're like, oh no, I don't feel very good. So I went out of that ITG room.
Yeah.
And then you're looking down and then onto the ground, and I'm like, okay, crap, this guy doesn't feel so good. So I went out, because I got called to for something. I think it was Chi or someone that called me. So I went there, and I was like, oh shit, is Jamie all right? So I went back into the room. You had your head looking upwards, and then you were drooling. And then I was like, dude, what the hell? And then I looked down, and then just where your foot was, there was like this big puddle of like vomit right there. And I'm like, oh, dude.
That was the dumbest idea to play a dancing game and like play something that would tire me out a lot right after eating.
That was so bad.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah, that was the time that I remembered. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. That
was a holy shit moment.
But yeah, so around those times, I used to hop in between Tekken and Street Fighter and ITG.
Yeah.
So I'd like wait in line for ITG.
Yeah.
And then once I finished my credit, because there were 4 songs in the credit, so each credit was like maybe 20 minutes. So it was a long time.
Yeah.
Depending on who was playing, sometimes it was even longer. And you'd have to wait for so long. So I'll play Tekken and Street Fighter while I'm waiting.
Yeah.
And I'd like get on the Tekken machine, and I'd be like sweating like crazy.
Yeah. And everyone's like, ooh, disgusting.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Oh man, I used to remember when you did that, and then you came and sat next to me, and you're like, stop. And then like it was like this sweaty arm that was like sort of, because in Tekken 6 it was sort of side by side, not back to back. Yeah. And then like you'll just be like rubbing that sweaty arm, like and I'm like, what the hell, man? That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was fun, man. I really enjoyed those days.
No, those days were so good. Like this is this is when we were like early to mid 20s. Those are the fun times.
Yeah, I think early 20s.
Yeah. And then I remembered, and there was a few characters that we've come across, in the whole time zone sort of thing. One of them was, I'm not going to name drop, and plus he's probably not listening in on this, but when it was Thursdays, there used to be half price.
Half price Thursdays.
Yeah, half price Thursdays. So rather than using our time zone cards, they'll give us like just a normal card.
Yeah.
We'll pay $6, and then that's our half price, and then we can top it up anytime we want.
Yeah. And
so what I'll do is, because Tekken is always full in those times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just be like, fuck this. I'm just gonna play Blaze Blue.
Yeah.
So in order for me to recognize my card, because everyone, once you go to a Tekken machine, like it's just like everybody's cards on the machine.
Yeah.
that's just to indicate that I'm next.
Yeah.
And this is the line.
Because it was before it was coins.
Yeah.
Just put coins on the machine.
Exactly. And so what happened was to distinguish my card, I took like a Vivid and I drew this massive hairy penis like on my card. And they'll be like, okay, this is my card. Yeah. So what I did was in Blaze Blue, I think it was Vincent, our friend that plays all those dance games. He was on Blaze Blue. Some random guy was like playing him.
Yeah.
I put my card down like on his side because it looks like he was losing.
Yeah.
He takes it and then he scrunches it up and he chucks it. And I'm like, and then I said to him, I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, pick it up. And then he's like, what? And I was like, pick up my card. Yeah, and it was just about one of those times where, there was a fight that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, and then people was going to be like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, dude, you scrunched up my card and you chucked it away.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And then, so pretty much, everything calmed down. And then he lost. And I was like, get off, it's my turn. And he's like, oh, is that what it's for?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he helps off. Yeah. And then
could you play with your card still?
No, I had to get another one.
So there was credit on that card, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So I had to get another one. I said, can you transfer?
Oh,
yeah. There was still money in it and stuff like that. So,
okay, yeah.
But back then, $6 went a long way, man. Now $6 is like nothing.
Well, I mean, you don't really go to the arcade anymore. So
No.
They don't have Street Fighter anymore. It's not the latest version anyway.
Yeah.
They don't have the latest version of Tekken. They don't have ITG. So there's no point for me to even go there now.
Fair enough. But yeah, those are good days.
Yeah.
In those times. And we used to always go to... I remember there was another time when I used to work in town.
Yeah.
And I think that those were the days that I got to know you guys a lot better.
Yeah.
Because back then I used to... That's the reason how I met Aaron, is that me and him were weekend boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all worked... you guys had uni.
Yeah, we had uni, so...
Yeah, I was working already, you see. Oh, yeah. So I can only make time in the weekend.
Yeah.
And same as him. So we used to just always meet up and just play Tekken and things like that. And then you guys would just be weekdays. But then when obviously we knew each other. And because tournaments were on weekends anyway.
Yeah.
In the weekday, because that's when I started my new job, I came down. And then you guys were like, hey, look, it's Steve, it's Kodo, hey. I'm like, oh, hey, how's everything? And then you're like, no, nothing, man, nothing. Let's go to dinner. Let's go out to dinner.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and then that was sort of like, when I was like sort of eating out now. Like, because back then I used to just go home, like eat at home.
Yeah, because you don't want to spend money on food.
Exactly, but then that's when I sort of became a foodie. Like, I was always a foodie.
Yeah.
But like, now like I'm like living... like sort of working in the city and things like that. Yeah. And then I meet up with you guys, and it's like, hey, let's go for food.
Yeah, because we always used to go for dinner. We used to go to Mentats like all the time.
You went to Mentats. That was your staple food.
No, it wasn't mine.
Like, I remember that one time we went to Korean barbecue, and then you're like, nah, let's go Mentats. Let's go Mentats.
Did I?
Yeah,
because I like didn't actually mind.
You were the first person that actually that was mentioning Mentats.
No, that was Zenki. I'm pretty sure. It wasn't me. I was introduced to Mentats by one of the Tekken players. I don't know who it was, but we always used to go to Mentats because it was like always open.
And it was cheap.
Yeah, and it was cheap.
And it was nice food back then.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's still nice food now, but there's other places more choices. But back then, Mentats was, the shit.
Was the place to be, yeah.
Yeah, it was the shit.
For dinner.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, like, next question there, let's take a look. Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I was asking like Blackout, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to ask everyone this.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say Tekken. Like, who is your fighting game waifu? Julia? Not Cammy?
Julia.
Not
Easy.
Cammy?
Not Cammy.
Why not?
Well,
I thought you liked Cammy.
Yeah, she's cool. I like all the characters that I've played so far. I played in Street Fighter. I played Chun-Li. I played Cammy. I can also play Laura and Mika, but I wouldn't consider any of those.
So it's always Julia.
Yeah, because Julia was like the first character that I played well, not first character that I played, but you know, the first time I ever thought like, oh, I have a main character.
Yeah.
And that's Julia, because you know I got bodied at Tekken Tag 1 with Julia.
So Julia beat you up and then you fell in love.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Fair enough. So no, but you know, imagining Julia as a waifu, it's just like, it's like, oh man, she's like a hippie. You know, is she gonna like make me into a vegan or something? You know.
Well, I mean, I don't really follow the story too much, so I won't.
But
go
she's
there.
a hippie. You can see those
Yeah, I
like
know.
headdresses and.
Man, she was so fucking hot in Tekken 5. She had this headdress which was like 500k.
You actually saved up for that, eh?
Yeah,
I
saved up for that.
remembered.
That was so good.
I remembered you were like going, man, you know, I can finally get my headdress. This is back in like on Tekken Zaibatsu. You're like,
Yeah.
I can get it.
Yeah. I played her so much just so I could get that. It was so good. And yeah, so
and you can't trial. You cannot trial like, you know,
what it looks like.
And stuff.
You just have to buy it.
You just have to buy it.
Yes. No, well back then you went on Tekken Zaibatsu and looked at the was it the Tekken official guide or something?
Yeah.
And they had all the images of what the customizations look like.
Yeah.
So I got that.
Back then there wasn't really much customizations for like top, bottom, or anything like that. It was just sort of like head for your face and colour scheme.
Yeah, colours mostly.
Yeah.
So I dressed up my Julia in all red and
Headdress.
and the headdress. It's actually quite funny now because I choose red for every single character I ever play.
Yeah. No, you chose pink back in Tekken 6.
No,
Everything was
like
pink.
now I pick red.
Really?
And back then
Okay.
Julia was my main character and she was all red as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Lily was red at one point as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I pick red now because red is like this meme where red's faster. I'm not sure if you know about it, but back in Street Fighter 2, when you play Ken mirrors, so one's blue and one's red,
Yeah.
and everyone used to say, oh, red's faster,
Yeah.
so like you should always pick red. And like that's what I do. It might not look the best. I like blue usually looks better, or purple maybe
Yeah.
sometimes depending on the character.
Yeah.
But I always pick red, and everyone's like, man, when I play in tournaments, they're like, oh, I'm not liking this this costume choice.
You were always a massive troll in your costume picks though.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't really about the looking cool. It was just like, haha, this looks cool because it looks funny.
Yeah, like
I used to
my
remember
hard gay lore.
Yeah. There was another one in Tekken 5 days where your devil Jin was called Tropical Snow.
It was called Tropical Flavor.
Yeah, that's the one.
I had like different color for everything. Every part of his body had a different color, and I thought it looked really cool.
Well, you probably still think it looks really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had.
You
pictures
have a
of-
lot of silly costumes back in the days.
Yeah, I wish I had photos of those things.
Mm. Yeah, that's the reason why you always got to take a picture.
Yeah, but
Yep.
I mean now I probably have pictures of everything, but
I need to remember. I mean, I think that in the chat there before, when we were talking about Para Paradise, I think I have a video of you.
actually,
Yeah, you were playing it and you were in a suit as well because you did a presentation that day at uni.
oh, did I? Holy
And-
shit!
Yeah, you were in a suit and you're like, doing like this para stuff and then...
Nah, I never did that.
Oh, and I also remembered...
You don't
I
have
also,
a video at all.
I also have a video of Daryl, D-Sam.
Yeah.
Remember that Dragon Punch game?
Yeah,
Yeah, he tried to kick it and then
Oh,
he
yeah.
fully missed.
he fully missed. Oh wow.
It was so funny. It was the funniest shit ever. So yeah, I might just go through the archives and see if I could find it.
No,
I'm not
you
gonna, I'm
won't
not
find
going to
it.
share it. I'm not going to share it. I'll probably give it to you.
Yeah.
But that's about it, really. It's not going to see the.
Nah, you're not gonna find it. I swear, you're not gonna find it.
Well, come on, man. You actually like posted up a picture of me like being like seriously like camp. Like I was like
Really?
sitting in front of. I was doing the peace sign, and I had this really gay smirk on my face. And then you thought it was funny. I'm like, geez, that's so dumb. Don't take it off, bro. That's so ugly.
Yeah, but that's the kind of the time that we started learning that once something's on the internet, it's never gonna leave the internet.
Well, this is probably gonna never leave, and then our kids will probably find and just be like, hey, look, it's our dad's.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, oh crap.
Yeah, that's kind of weird thinking about that, but yeah, I guess so. Man, this display picture's pretty cool.
Yeah,
really
what do you think of it? What do you think of it? You said it didn't really look like you.
Yeah, I don't think it really looks like me, but then I don't really know how I would change it to make it look like me more.
I think, if you stare at it long enough, it'll be like, yeah, that's Jamie.
Yeah, but you could probably say that about any Asian dude, really.
Well, I think that I look like me.
Yeah, yours looks like you.
Except, that looked, that was like sort of the look that I had maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, you rock a different hairstyle now, wear different clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He drew the beard, though, which is a bonus.
That's cool, man. The beard makes it look way better, I think. And
yeah,
it makes you look way better.
Yeah, well, I'll never actually go clean shaven again.
Yeah, I had a beard before. I didn't.
It was kind of patchy.
Yeah, it was.
You needed to sort of dress it up a bit.
It was really badly. It really badly grew. Like on one side, like there was just a patch where it didn't grow, and then on the other side, it was a different patch that didn't grow. And like you have to grow it for a really long time to make it not look obvious.
Well, that was the funniest thing because Ping, like when I left for overseas, and I came back, and then he said that he's never shaved like ever since I left, and all he had was like this dirty ass mustache and this dirty ass like goatee.
Goatee.
Goatee. Goatee.
It's a goatee. Oh god.
Yeah, goatee. Oh no. That's gonna stick.
Yeah, when I don't shave for like a couple days, then it starts to show. So, yeah, like if I really want to grow one, it doesn't actually take that long.
Yeah.
But to make it look decent, it takes a long time.
You need to shape it. That's the thing. Like, from the get-go, you need to start shaping it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it was fun. It was an experiment for me because it was the first time that I've ever started growing.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I'll do it again.
Yeah, you need to sort of... I think that, like, the older you get, though, like, you're going to end up having more facial hair.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's just how I started. I think I started my facial hair around about, 28?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like 31 now, so...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright.
We're both old, man.
Yeah, I'm 30 now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty old. But, I still play a lot of games. I'm actually trying to work on something to hopefully give
You're trying to get into the esports, eh? When in the full fighting game community.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do something to
tell us about
to
the
allow
esports.
me to like without giving too much away. I'm trying to develop an app or a website that will hopefully have ad revenue and stuff and allow me to travel overseas and play games because I love playing games. And
don't we all?
I see all these people traveling around the world like every second weekend or every weekend even, and they enter tournaments in Street Fighter.
You'll see that with like Tanukana and JDCR.
Yeah, it's mostly in Street Fighter, but for Tekken, yeah, you see JDCR and Saint mostly. I think Ni and you are gonna also gonna be traveling
Help
around.
Me doesn't really travel that much anymore, eh?
Help Me.
Yeah.
I don't think he does much. I don't think he ever really did that much.
Oh, okay.
But now that there's the Tekken World Tour, I think a lot of people will. So the Capcom Pro Tour has been out for a while now, and there are sponsored players that go around all around the world, like every 1 or 2 weekends into a different country to play a tournament, and that is so awesome. And like even players that are not even that good, like there's an Australian player called Burnout.
Yeah.
And he plays Delsum, and he's not like world ranked or anything, but he does travel along to these tournaments.
So he just likes to sort of, get his name out there, participate in every single tournament.
Yeah, well, he's sponsored
interact.
by Challenge, Twitch and I think player.me.
Oh, okay.
And he travels around like he's a really good player,
Right.
but he's not like a winner tournament type player, right? Like he can get out of his pool in a big tournament, but then not really go further than that. But even that, like he travels the world and plays games.
I wonder I wonder how they get the money for it. I'm pretty sure like maybe their sponsors pay for it.
Yeah, well they would, or I'm not sure how he does it, but it's really cool and it's something that I want to at least do for a little bit.
Well, if I do manage to get like obviously I want to focus on personally for me is I want to focus on different things as well as the game. Such as, working on this podcast, getting as much people as possible, maybe even get some Aussies or overseas people to do this with me if it gets that far.
Yeah.
And maybe, if I do get sponsors and things like that, I wouldn't mind taking like, let's say like maybe 6 months off work and just travel the world and, just enter all these tournaments.
Yeah, it would be so fun to do that.
Yeah. I think
I wouldn't like to do it long term because
No.
it's really mentally draining, but I would really like to do it for like 6 months to a year or something. Maybe not a year, but like if I do it for a year, maybe like one tournament every like maybe 2 or 3 weeks. It would be so cool to do that.
Not to mention the fame and stuff. I think that for me is that I wouldn't want to be a meme.
Why not?
I don't know. Like it's just I'm that type of person. It's like I just want to sort of stay away from the spotlight. I just don't like having the spotlight on me. It's like no, that's scary, man. That's scary. No, I don't want to do that.
He can't win like big tournaments, but he can come to New Zealand and body us for free.
You reckon?
Yeah, he has done it. He's done it twice. he won Red Zone number 1, and he won First Blood. He's done it twice now.
Someone's saying that I am a meme.
Yeah. Oh really?
I don't remember that, but yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So back at tournaments, how you said I'm a tournament fiend. Yeah, I've been entering tournaments like pretty much ever since I started playing Tekken. I entered the nationals at. I think the very first tournament I entered was the Tekken 6.0 Nationals, and I managed to win that, and I won a trip to the Philippines I managed to get that with Glenn, so Glenn came second, Carpe Diem, from Christchurch, and we both went to the Philippines to play in this international tournament, and it was the very first time that Namco had ever done that. The very first time that Namco has ever done like an international kind of tournament. There was 2 people from Philippines, 1 from Australia, and 2 from New Zealand. And I managed to come third in that tournament. And it was amazing, man. Like it was so cool, especially in the Philippines. So you know how New Zealand is like quite a small country. There's not that many players. Everyone kind of knows everyone.
Yeah. When
you go to the Philippines, man, like
it's a smaller country. Even
there are so many people there. I can't exaggerate this enough, but there's so many people there that when you go there, you know how dairies for us are like on every corner.
Yeah.
That's time zones in the Philippines. In Manila, there are time zones everywhere. Like every corner you go to, there's a time zone.
So like Japan.
Well, Japan's not really like that. There's like a center where there is like maybe 3 or 4 arcades, but other than that, there's like not that many outside of that.
I think that in the Philippines, if they actually bring FR, yeah, that would be crazy. Like it'll be the internet, like because everything's connected to the internet, and it's just crazy. With all the amount of people that play.
Yeah, exactly. So you go to a time zone, right?
Yeah.
And there is like maybe 4 Tekken machines, and there's like maybe 3 or 4 people lining up in each machine, right? And you go down the road to the next time zone, and there's exactly the same thing. There's 4 machines. There's like 3 or 4 people lining up on each machine, and there's that just in every single time zone, and it's so awesome. Like there's just so many players, and like
I sort of fell in love with the whole scene in Japan. Like I said, I went to Japan on the first night. We had a few beers and like had some like sort of yakiniku sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Or yakitori, sorry.
Yakitori, yeah.
And yeah, and then basically we went to the local arcade, and I brought a card, and next thing I know, it's just like, you know, when you first go to the screen, you know, of the versus screen, like you're versing the computer,
Yeah.
just when it finishes loading, it's like
New
new
challenger.
challenger.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy crap, man, this is great. Like,
Well, that's the thing.
I got up to green ranks in like 2 days.
Yeah,
just
me
playing,
too.
yeah.
Me too. Yeah. The thing is, like, it's cool, but I really didn't like the online arcade style, because when you go to an arcade, you go there and the atmosphere is that you're playing against people that are there with you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to the arcade in Tekken 7, it's like you're at home. You go, you sit on a machine, you put in your money, and then you just play against some random dude somewhere in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just keep revenging some random dude in Japan, right? And then you beat them, they don't revenge back, you play
fight
someone
again,
else,
yeah.
and then it's another random dude. Like, I really didn't like that aspect of it, because...
But the thing is that there's always someone to play.
Yeah, that's right, but when you go there, there's like maybe 8 machines or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, why can't you play those 8 players? And that's what I did. You know, KYSG?
Yeah.
The combo video makers?
Yeah.
So I made, I met up with the guy, Yor.
Mm-hmm.
He made most of the KYSG videos back in Tekken 5. And I met up with him, I had dinner with him, and I played him in Tekken. He's actually really good as well, because the perception is most people that make combo videos are not actually that good at the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
is that what you think?
That's what a lot of people think.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I'd never seen him play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I understood, like, he just studied a lot of random shit, and he used programmable stick to do combos. And so I didn't know if he was good or not. And then I played him, and like,
He bodied you?
No, it was like maybe even.
Oh, okay.
And so he just really surprised me, because I didn't really have anything to base his skill off.
Yeah.
And it was really surprising that he was that good.
Okay.
But yeah, that was the only time I ever played Tekken 7 offline.
Yeah. Speaking of combo videos and things like that, so we've got one guy who actually thought he was actually really good and made some combo videos, and we all called him out for it. I think that he's had the most interaction with you as an individual.
Who was this?
This was, my video, that guy that, sort of talks shit to everyone. TK.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so, with him, I mean, you were the only person that that pretty much versed him and totally bodied him on camera and everything. And I think that he's always had, like, a chip on his shoulder. But for me, I've always given people benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, I'm like, okay, he's either really, really, like, something must be wrong with him.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of thing. Because, he'll just come out and he'll just be like, I'm the best. I'm best at Street Fighter and everything.
Yeah.
But then when we play him, it's just like, dude, you're nothing. You can't even sidestep.
Yeah.
And then, but, he could be like, one of those delusional guys, or he could be a genius. He could be one of those guys that would just be like, comes home, takes off his sunnies and just be like, it's a good day of trolling, guys.
Yeah. It could be like that. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really give it that much thought, to be honest.
But he did actually make some racist comments to you.
Yeah, he did. He was quite offensive to me. Like, I don't get angry that much.
Yeah.
I used to get angry. I used to get frustrated at a lot of things that I read on the internet. But at the time, I kind of grew out of that. And then he came to a tournament, an offline tournament, and he caused a lot of trouble for the TOs, and I was one of them.
Yeah.
And he said a whole lot of stuff which I don't really want to say on this. And I got really frustrated and really angry for pretty much the rest of the day. I couldn't.
That just ruined your day, eh?
Yeah, it completely ruined my day, and I tried not to like. Well, I didn't like say anything offensive towards him, but he would just continue to.
I think the only person that sort of challenged him really was Datalink.
Yeah, well, I mean, I told him to talk to Dave if he's got problems, but I don't think he did. He just talked a lot of shit to everybody at the tournament, just the players.
Yeah.
And he tried to bribe people to win, for him to win.
Yeah. So just to let him win.
Yeah, to let him win.
Wow, that's next level way.
But yeah, yeah. So that's the last I saw of him. But I was actually really scared. He was talking all this stuff like about how he would put me in jail or something. I don't know exactly how he would do that.
Yeah.
But
I remember
he was threatening me essentially.
Yeah.
And after the day of the tournament, I was actually really scared to go outside by myself.
Yeah.
Because yeah, he was threatening me, and yeah, like I was just really scared. And then I went to my car and I was like, oh, thank God I'm safe.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
it's like a scary movie.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of it put me off like everything for maybe a couple days after that. But yeah, I haven't.
Well,
seen
there
him
are
since,
people
so.
that would actually say stuff like that, but he actually said that to Datalink as well.
Yeah, I mean,
he went
I know
up to him and
mean,
he goes, he's like, "Do you know who I am?"
Yeah.
And stuff. It's like,
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's pretty genuine and he means it, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but
It
like
wasn't a
saying
good
that you're
experience.
really good at the game is one thing, but threatening the other, your fellow players is another.
Yeah.
It's definitely that sounds like a troll, but it also sounds like someone who's really troubled.
Yeah, I know. Like after a while, I thought about it and I was just like, man, I kind of feel sorry for this guy because I don't know what he's going through, and to have these kind of comments against someone, that's kind of uncalled for.
Yeah, it's a good thing that
like,
it's a good thing that he's not in the scene anymore.
Yeah,
which is a
really
great thing, really. I mean, that's the last thing we want is just
I'm
someone...
actually really worried that he might turn up to one of these events because there is there's going to be a lot of offline events.
Yeah.
Especially for Tekken because
I think that he's just disappeared off the scene, which is actually good.
Yeah.
He's
I don't wish any harm for anyone, but I just hope that we don't see him again.
Yeah, that's for sure. But final question before we finish off here.
Yeah.
What do you think of the current fighting community, like fighting game community, and how much do you think it's evolved, and also how do you think it's gonna turn out in the future? Because obviously you already know that fighting games is quite a niche market in the whole gaming industry. I mean, we've got our own communities and things like that. It's not like League of Legends where it's so massively, popular everywhere. But with fighting games, because with the internet these days, you can't really play anyone sort of besides Australia. So how do you think it's going to sort of plan out? Yeah.
I'm not sure. So you're saying like in New Zealand, right? New Zealand. I think with the release of Tekken 7 on console, the fighting game community I think is gonna get a lot better, but I think Namco did a really poor job of getting improving the scene, because historically they've been a huge arcade game. Like up until Tekken 7 FR, they've been an arcade, basically arcade only game, right? They've promoted arcade only. All the players are like pretty much arcade only games players, right? And when they released Tekken 7 on console, Street Fighter 5 had been out for a while now, at least a year.
It's been more than that, I'm pretty sure.
It was a year and maybe like 3 or 4 months.
I believe that I was playing Street Fighter 5 before I got married, and we were sort of because I had to reorganize my room, for my wife to move in and things like that. So I didn't have a computer desk, so I was basically playing Street Fighter on the floor, and I was playing Ryu.
Street Fighter on the floor,
Yeah. So I was playing Street Fighter on the floor, with this I was just sitting down on the floor, and I was just just sort of like back when we were kids, sort of on the floor, just like with your legs crossed, and you're just like, just.
Yeah, no, Street Fighter 5 came out early 2016, I think.
Yep.
And Tekken 7 came out in July, or was it July? June or July? June,
yep.
I think, of this year. So it had been out for about 1.5 months. So I what was the question? I can't remember. So Street Fighter 5 had crossplay between PC and PS4, and that helped develop the community a lot, because if you can't play, if you've got a PS4 and you can't play against people on PC and vice versa, that it segregates a community. And in New Zealand, our community is small as it is, so segregating it further is just pretty much like kills the game.
I do feel that with the community, our numbers are growing for Tekken. It's growing quite rapidly, and even though that it's not cross-platform, I think that in a lot of the tournaments these days offline, Tekken has taken over.
In
numbers.
I agree. But in terms of growing the scene, having no crossplay is extremely, very detrimental to a community. That's a small community, I mean. Because if the community is huge, it doesn't matter if there's no crossplay. Like in America, PS4, PC, it probably doesn't matter. You can just play anyone on either platform, right? But Xbox as well.
Come on.
But in New Zealand, we have to change our Steam download region to New South Wales because there's just not enough players on PC. And
PC's the better console, though.
I'm not gonna say that, but we have to do that just to get matches.
And
that
for sure.
that in itself tells you how bad it is for a community if there is no crossplay. And PS4, it's fine because we get games, and we can get games against Australians as well. But if there was crossplay, we could just play only Kiwis, and the connection would be decent, and we wouldn't have to worry and have this PC versus PS4 talk.
Because it's the same game.
And
whereas this is two different games.
Yeah, exactly. And it's two different communities within a very small community as it is.
Oh, I come over to PS4 sometimes.
Well, no, I mean, even though the numbers for Tekken tournaments is actually the best we've ever had in New Zealand, it could be so much more, I think, if crossplay was a thing, because it would unite the community together properly, rather than someone that's only got a PC.
That's the thing, though. A lot of people, that's your way of thinking, but how I see it is that no matter how much you try to unite the whole community, there will be people that branch out. I mean, look at us back in Tekken 6 scene, Tekken 6 days, is that we had one scene, for Time Zone and Yifans, but then what Datalink actually told me at one point, that's when I sort of went to go check it out myself. There was a timeout community of about 12 people or so. And then they would play, but then they never actually jive with us.
It's because when you go to Time Zone, it's that's kind of your arcade, right? You go there. We didn't really we had a phase of going to Time Zone, then we had a phase of going to Yifans, then we had a phase of going back to Time Zone. You didn't really go to all three or even two of them. So that's probably why it was like that, and it's just because there were three arcades and you were more comfortable in a particular place, I guess. But that's kind of similar to no crossplay, right? The communities are separated, and you don't have the bigger the community is, the better everyone gets. The more players, the better the skill level gets, especially
for sure
crossplay. So it would be good if say Richard could play against the people that are on PS4, but he just can't.
Well, that's just the way it is. I mean, we've got a lot of monsters on PC. You've got Richard, you've got Cure, You know,
Vince.
obviously, you know, there's a few other people there.
You got Vince, you got Fay-J.
Yeah. Oh, is Fay-J there?
Yeah, Piggy Bundy.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
That's him. Yeah, I've never...
And someone accused him of botting or something.
Okay.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was Dan Banter.
He also accused Vince for botting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna... No, wait, no, it wasn't Dan Banter. It was, I think, Incognito.
I
think it was him. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
But those are all old school players, you see, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to think that Fay-J would actually cheat. But he was just really good. So it's he was one of those players that, you know, there was a few people. There was D-Sam, yourself, Vince, Fay-J that I've looked up to. Yeah.
You know, just sort of wanting to learn the game. Because, I mean, back then I was a scrub. I genuinely wanted to learn the game.
Yeah.
You know, just to get better and things like that. I didn't even know what juggling was. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't even know what punishing was.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Oh, man. The very first time I got punished, you know, Julia's 111?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not a 111 anymore, but her 111
It was that 3-hit chain.
Yeah, so I think it was either minus 14 or 15.
Yeah.
In Tekken Tag 1, I got punished with an electric once. And I was like, the very first time that happened, I was like, oh my god, what the hell? What happened there?
Yeah.
And like, he launched me, right?
Yeah.
From the 111. And I did it like a couple more times, and he electric punished it every single time. I was like, what the hell? Why can't I block that?
What is that? Yeah,
why can't I block it?
Yeah.
And like, it took a while, but I realized that, you know, there was such a thing as punishing.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned about it.
It's like, it's a big, massive hike for us just to sort of learn the game and things like that. Because, you know, back then we didn't... internet was very bad. You know, this is when we had dial-up.
Man, I used to spend all day to download a single episode of Charmed.
Oh, no. You like... Oh, yeah, okay. Charmed? Really?
Yeah.
Charmed?
That was so hot.
Buffy, man. Buffy was better.
Sarah Michelle Gellar? Nah. That other chick was hotter than Sarah Michelle Gellar. What's her name?
Alyssa Milano?
No. Oh, the girl in Buffy. Michelle Trachtenberg.
Oh, okay.
That was a redhead, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think she was hotter than Buffy. Than Sarah Michelle Gellar. But yeah, like, Charmed, I was a fiend for Charmed as well. I had every single episode.
Oh,
and I burned them onto VCD.
True. Okay.
Like single episodes, right? On a single CD.
Yeah.
And I had a huge like stack of CDs just of Charmed. It was so cool.
Oh yeah, those are the days, burning CDs and everything.
Yeah, you spend like an hour downloading one song.
Yeah, but no. What we'll do is, because we've been at this for about an hour and a half now.
Oh really?
Yeah, I guess that what we'll do is we'll wrap this up. But definitely it's good to have you on the podcast there, Jamie.
Yeah, it's good.
We'll definitely release this on a VOD, and I hope that everyone gets a chance to listen in on it.
Yep.
Let me know if there's anything I need to improve on this. Obviously, no troll comments, but
you'll get troll comments just for saying.
Of course,
you should not have said that.
But no, it's nice having you, on the podcast, and I'm definitely keen to have others.
This is a really good podcast. This is like, I think one of the best traits of you is just you're able to talk for a really long time, and you're good at conversation flowing.
Oh yeah, no, that I guess that that's sort of me being like sort of a salesman.
Oh yeah,
trait.
yeah.
You just gotta like actually steer them the right way.
Yeah. And
things like that, and just
it's not something that I would be good at.
Well, that's just the way it is. Really, it all comes down to the individual. But no, I'm definitely keen to have this podcast going, and sort of weaning out all the top players first, and then we'll have like some sort of fun shows where we'll get two people in.
Get D-Sam in.
Yeah, get D-Sam, talk about like the old school.
Yeah.
And stuff. Probably some Street Fighter players. Keen to have Optimus Dave.
Yeah, Dave. It will be good to have this guy called Moose. He's
not Loose Moose, but just Moose.
No, just Moose. He's from Wellington.
Yeah.
He's similar to Chris Tinkos. So he's really good at like kind of studying the game. He doesn't he doesn't put as much time in as Chris does, but he knows a lot about the game, and he's like quite an interesting character because he likes to figure out new tech. And,
for sure.
And he's a lab monster just like Chris.
Oh, okay.
And, he's cool. But yeah, like there's a lot of players in Street Fighter.
Yeah, well, it's a fighting game community that we're sort of focusing on. It's not just about Tekken, even though that my main game is Tekken, but that's why it's not called the Tekken podcast. It's just called the Salt Shaker podcast because obviously everyone's salty.
Yeah.
You know, so...
I was salty after losing to Rosetro at Red Zone Rumble.
I was super salty losing tonight. I mean, he was obviously the better player because I kind of played it very safe, but that last combo drop was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
OMG, what the hell? And then I just lost.
Yeah, that's what you can't do. You can't get salty no matter what happens. Getting salty is the worst thing you can possibly do in a tournament.
Yeah.
Because it happened already.
Yeah.
You can't change the fact that it happened. So you got to think about what's ahead.
Yeah.
You got to keep your mind.
Well, you got to keep positive, actually.
Actually, Thomas did that as well.
Oh yeah.
He was playing Kyo on the Forgotten Realm stage, and Kyo got a ground break, right? And he was like basically one jab until death, and Kyo dropped the combo. But Thomas didn't tech because he thought it was over, right? And so he wasn't mashing to tech.
Yeah. And
had he done that, it could have been a very different game.
Yeah.
I mean, well, he still won, but like I think he could have taken it. I think 2-0 instead of 2-1 in a really close third game. Yeah. But yeah, something that because I've been to so many tournaments, like I've
know that those are either tournament nerves or
I'm working on my murder face, which I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
With Tokido, like anytime something bad happens, just completely forget about it and just move on to what you need to do to win.
Yeah.
And every game is not over until the round says it's over.
Yeah. Unless you see the KO symbol
there. If something is like an easy combo, they could still drop that.
Yeah.
If something's an easy punish, they could still miss that punish.
Yeah.
And like what happened with Kyo, like he dropped a really easy combo at the very end of a game, and Thomas could have
teched it.
Yeah, Thomas could have teched and taken advantage of that, but he didn't because he thought the game was over.
And
but
that's when he came back.
Yeah, and Kyo won the round because of he would have run the round anyway, but because he dropped the combo, it gave Thomas a chance to win.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean,
I didn't actually quite see that because I was actually trying to sort of get my mind sort of on my game.
Yeah.
Just not think about, just clear my head and everything. Yeah. I went in there with a clear head. I actually went in there and just said, look, I'm going to try and win this. I did. I took it quite convincingly in the first set.
Yeah.
The second set, I'm like, okay, I got this. I had him in the air and I was like, cool, I got this. But then when I went to go forward, it just came out as just me walking forward.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm like, crap!
So I just recently got a new stick and I'm playing on a bat top now instead of a ball top.
Yeah.
And some things are easier, but other things are harder. And I find in Street Fighter with Cammy, one of her combos is crush counter hard kick into a dash into something. And for whatever reason, I really suck at doing that dash on a bat top.
Oh, okay.
And
that's the reason why you have the Panthera. It's just to sort of switch in between.
Yeah. So I'm doing that dash is something that was really easy on a ball top, but it's just something I need to get used to. And the first time I played Street Fighter on this bat top, I failed that combo like 4 times in like an hour.
Yeah.
And normally I'd never ever drop that.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
And
so I guess that you can safely say that when you're going to play Tekken, bring out the bat top. If you're going to go play Street Fighter.
No. I'm gonna play on the bat top no matter what.
Okay, so you're just gonna switch to bat top now.
For Cammy, I think dive kicks are easier on a bat top.
Okay.
And I think movement is easier or almost everything is easier on Tekken for me at least. But it's just something you need to get used to, and because even though it's possible, even though it's really hard, it's still possible to drop easy combos.
Yeah.
So that's what you've.
There's always error. There's always error.
Yeah, human error.
Just human error, human input error.
Yeah, and even at the top level, you still see people dropping combos. You still see people in Street Fighter not reacting to the proper tech.
Yeah.
And getting hit by a wake-up jab.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, there's just so much human error that can go on. So the game is not over until the game says it's over.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyway, it was definitely good having this yarn with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to the next podcast there.
Yeah, looking forward to coming back maybe one day.
Yeah, definitely. I think that probably Southern Cross Up would be probably a next one, but maybe you with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be
Sweet.
good. Maybe make it a handicap match on the Salt Shaker podcast.
Handicap match.
Handicap match, 2v1.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it'll be like that, but then 2v1. It'll be
yeah.
like me on this side and then two people, but like smaller. So maybe.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you everyone for listening. It's been extremely fun, and I'll see you on the next podcast.
Yeah,
Over and out.
Guys.